Denver on a beautiful, bright, cold but crisp day. The Dallas Cowboys come to Denver to play the Denver Broncos, struggling a bit of late. The Cowboys, with a victory today, can clinch a spot in the playoffs. The Eagle game is over. The Eagles have beaten Minnesota, so Dallas can get into the playoffs. That's the final score from Philadelphia. Pat Summerall with John Madden. John Elway is out of the action, so the Broncos, John, will start with alternating quarterbacks today.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing that Dan Reeves is doing after John Elway was hurt. He started Tommy Maddox, the 20-year-old rookie. He started him for 2 games, and they were 0-2. So he figures that's not going to get the job done. Elway isn't ready to play, so today he's going to alternate his quarterbacks every play. Tommy Maddox will start, then Sean Moore will come in. He's going to send the plays in with the quarterbacks.
And on the Dallas side, it's been, of course, a great year for the Cowboys thus far. But the focus today, I think you'd have to say, is on this man, Emmitt Smith.
Well, you know, it's interesting. Emmitt Smith is going for a Dallas Cowboys scoring record. He has 15 touchdowns. 16 is the record. The guy that holds that record is a Denver Bronco coach, Dan Reeves.
The ball blew off the tee down on the playing field. As it's replaced, here are those 2 principals you were talking about.
Well, you know, we talked to Emmitt Smith yesterday, and he said if he scores today, he's going to have Dan Reeves sign that ball that ties the Cowboy record.
Elliott's kickoff out of the end zone on the fly. Maddox, the rookie and the #1 draft choice in '92, and Sean Moore will alternate in behind this offensive front. Freeman, Davidson, Kartz, Wydell, Lanier, and Clarence Kay at tight end. The running backs, Greg Lewis, Reggie Rivers, Vance Johnson, and Mark Jackson, the wide receivers. Maddox will get most of the snaps on first down. Greg Lewis is the lone running back. 2 tight ends they begin with. Shannon Sharp on the move. Maddox batted in the air and picked off by Kevin Smith. And the Cowboys get the first turnover, the first break. Mark Jackson was the intended receiver. It was deflected, and Kevin Smith came up with it.
Well, you'll see Kevin Smith out here as the left corner, and they're going to try and hit between that zone. Kevin Smith is the short guy. The safety's going to come over deep. There was no one threatening him short, so he just rode the receiver back.
So Troy Aikman and his offensive unit will get a chance to see how they can do. 2-A, Newton, Stepnoski, Giesick, Eric Williams, and Jay Novacek in front of Troy. Emmitt Smith and Darrell Johnson, the 2 runners, Irvin and Harper wide. Novacek is in motion. No play. Flag on the play. Before it began, no play.
Before the snap, the entire line's moving before the ball snap.
The entire line.
5 yards. It's still first down.
Jerry Austin, the referee. The Denver defensive line is a 3-man front. Walker, Cragen, and Soche. Behind them, Fletcher, Mecklenburg, Brooks, and Mike Kroll. The secondary has Demry and Braxton on the corners, Atwater and Dennis Smith, the safeties. 2 of the best safeties. First and 15, Novacek again in motion. Emmitt Smith. Took away from 1, flag on the play. Face mask violation, I believe.
Hey, whatever it is, Pat, all the officials saw it because there's 3 or 4 flags came out on that play. Isn't that Emmitt Smith something? No, the way he run, I mean, he can take a football and run it in any hole.
5-yard face mask from the end of the run. Still first down.
Still first down.
And just watch what Emmitt Smith does. It's a draw play. He starts like in the 5 hole. Now he goes out to what would be the 7 hole. Now he goes out to what would be the 9 hole. Then he does a spinner, a straight arm, and gets 3 flags on the play. Of course, it was just for the 1 infraction, that face mask, but he is some back. I think right now, Emmitt Smith is the best running back in the NFL.
Harper wide right. Irvin left. Aikman to throw it. Outside intended for Darrell Johnston, incomplete. Mike Kroll was the cover man. He is looking right back into a very bright sunshine. Green Bay, look at that.
And maybe that's why he didn't see Alvin Harper. Alvin Harper was deep in the post. He thought he was wide open. He thought Troy Aikman should have thrown him the ball. But as you said, that sun is out there, and maybe Aikman didn't see Harper.
Second down and 8. The Cowboys at the Denver 32. Two tight ends set up. And a handoff to Emmett Smith. Inside the 30 to about the 27, a pickup of 5. Mecklenburg and Brooks made the stop.
See how he just took that ball up in there. On Thanksgiving Day in the first half, they told Emmett Smith at halftime that just cut it loose. Just run right at that hole. They felt like he was looking for something to happen, and waiting for something to happen. He said in the second half, that's where he started, and that's exactly what he did on that play. When the ball was snapped, and whap, he just took it right to the hole.
Hard to imagine after watching him over this long stretch as we have that anyone would have to tell him how to run.
Yeah, sometimes they get in a game and they forget things. They do things and they're not even aware of it.
Novacek, first down, Cowboys. Out of bounds about the 12. Dimry.
Michael Irvin got a couple blocks down there. You see number 88. He's not catching as many patches as he used to, but watch, Michael Irvin is on the outside, and he's going to bump too. These aren't vicious blocks. He pushes off there as a receiver, gets a little bump there, then boom, a little bump there. That's a double dipper. That's not bad for a wide receiver.
There was some vicious intent.
Yeah. Here's the protection. Of course, it all starts with that. Good pocket for Troy Aikman.
First and 10, Dallas at the Denver 12. Novacek on the move again, and Emmett Smith gets the carry. To about the 8. Atwater made the stop after a gain of 4.
Emmett Smith was saying last night that he was talking about a run he made on Thanksgiving Day against the Giants, and it was that one, remember, they threw him the swing pass, and he made the touchdown on it. He says, he said, for the life of me, I can't figure out why they always go for that first phony move I make.
He said the only place I could go was out of bounds.
Yeah, well, what you do, you'll always dip in to hold the guy. And every time you dip in, the guy thinks you're going to cut back, and that freezes him.
Irvin and Kelvin Martin stick to the left. Aikman gets to Smith. To about the 5. Pickup of 2 yards. Greg Fragan, having an outstanding year for Denver, made the stop.
The Dallas Cowboys now, it's always a tough thing for a coach. You got a guy who's going for a record, a great back like Emmitt Smith. If he gets a touchdown here, he's going to tie an all-time Cowboy record. But you don't want to feed him the ball. I mean, you'd like him to get his records, but doggone, you still have to do what you have to do to get the ball in the end zone.
That quest for records can't become your main concern.
And I think that's the thing that Jimmy Johnson is worrying about now.
3rd and 4. Aikman to throw. Irvin, touchdown. Dimry was the Denver defender, not close enough.
Michael Irvin's happy to get that one, Pat. It's been a while. He hasn't had a lot of touchdowns the last couple of months. This is what a big, strong wide receiver like Michael Irvin can do. You can just see he's going to just run it in and then just sit right down there. And that was a perfect throw by Troy Aikman.
Elliott for the extra point. And Dallas, after the interception by Smith, Kevin Smith, that is, leads 7-0. Dallas breaks on top 7-0 over Denver. Touchdown pass from Aikman to Irvin. Yesterday, when we went to Denver practice, it was about 6 degrees. The wind was blowing snow sideways. I thought, holy smoke. We got to be out in the open tomorrow for a long time. But today, the whole thing has turned around. Alvin Montgomery fielded the line drive kickoff with some room to operate. He gets it out to about the 32. Chad Hennings made the stop.
If we look at that Michael Irvin, he's up on top there, and he's going to come off the line and make an inside move on Charles Dimry. You see, he used his left hand. He hit with his left hand. That pushed Dimry to the outside. Then he made like a swim move. You know, that was like those defensive pass rushers use.
He is very good at that.
He hit with that left hand and threw the right shoulder inside, and then that gave him the inside for Troy Aikman to throw it to him.
Maddox gives the ball to Greg Lewis. And a couple of yards left side. Russell Maryland made the stop. Maryland joined by Haley, Casillas, and Tolbert up front. Norton, Jones, and Vincent Smith, the 3 linebackers. Kevin Smith and Larry Brown, the cornerbacks. Horton and Washington open at safety. Sean Moore is now the quarterback. They alternate every play. And he plans to stick with this all day. Shannon Sharp in motion. Moore about 5 yards short. That's the case of nerves.
Yeah, that was the old short arm, throw it into the dirt. This is a tough thing, you know, to come in, a quarterback with no experience playing against the #1 defense in the league, and then, you know, having to alternate, and you come in and you warmed up about 45 minutes ago, and the coach says go in there and fake a run and then throw a pass, and you just throw a knuckleball into the dirt.
Maddox out of the shotgun throws. Intercepted by Washington. James Washington still on his feet, fights down to about the 30, maybe inside the 30. Maddox has thrown it twice, been intercepted twice.
And he's probably thinking right now, I should have stood in college. Maddox, of course, came out after his sophomore year at UCLA, and I think he's just a case that everyone agrees is a guy playing in the National Football League that's not ready to. And again, that was forced. He was trying to hit Vance Johnson on that one in the middle. The Cowboys were in their nickel defense. And one thing, when you have a good defense like the Cowboys, you're going to give every team a lot of look. And when you got rookie quarterbacks, it's going to be awfully confusing.
Very difficult. 1st and 10, Dallas at about the 28. That was Novacek on the move. Outside quickly to Irvin. Irvin. Stopped by Atwater. But a first down about the 12.
Yeah, here's a guy who's dangerous when he catches the ball, too. If you lay off Michael Irvin like that, look how far the cornerback is. All he has to do is run up and stop, and then he has a good rack, too, which is run after the catch. I mean, whenever Michael Irvin gets the ball in his hands, he's thinking he's going to score a touchdown with it.
He likes that end zone.
And he hasn't been there a lot in the last 2 months. I think he's had like 2 touchdowns in the last 2 months.
Here's the handoff to Emmitt Smith with some room. Out of bounds at about the 3. Knocked out by Michael Brooks. 10-yard gain.
Tell you, that's the good news. The bad news is Nate Newton went down on this play, but again, he can take that ball anywhere. This is option run because the safeties come to the inside. He's going to bounce it out to the outside. You see, in these safeties, both Atwater and Dennis Smith are going to come up. Now watch 49, Dennis Smith come up. See, when he comes up right there on the inside, then that tells Emmitt Smith to bounce it to the outside. He's reading that safety.
He was slowed up, the safety was, by Darrell Johnson. He really does a good job blocking for Emmitt Smith. Not that time. Emmitt back to the line of scrimmage, stopped by Mecklenburg.
Well, you know, the part of the defense, probably the strongest part of this Denver Bronco defense, are those two safeties, Steve Atwater and Dennis Smith. I mean, on a pass play, they're like defensive backs, but on a run play, they're like extra linebackers. I mean, they're big, strong guys that are very, very good hitters.
2nd and goal from the 4. Emmett Smith comes out of the lineup. Johnston stays in as the lone setback, and they go with 2 tight ends. Touchdown, Irvin. His 2nd.
This is way too easy for the Cowboys. Of course, their defense made it happen. It was 2 interceptions. They got the ball, and then the offense did what they had to. 2 Troy Aikman to Michael Irvin touchdowns. Again, we talk about a happy guy who loves to score. It's this guy here. He's out there. Troy Aikman looks to the left, looks off, finds Michael Irvin in the end zone. You see what Irvin did on that one, Pat? He knew he was free. He raised his right arm just to make sure Troy Aikman saw him.
Extra point is up and good, and it's 14-0 Cowboys. 8:02 left to play in the first quarter, and the Cowboys up by 2, both touchdowns by Michael Irvin. Back at Mile High Stadium in Denver, the Cowboys 14, the Denver Broncos nothing. Pat Summerall with John Madden. Kickoff is high and deep and will not be brought out by Alden Montgomery. Let's look at that 2nd Irvin touchdown.
Well, you see him. He's in the slot here. They're almost in a position to double cover him. You see a man over him who's playing inside out. He lets him go. The second guy lets him go and just stands there, and Michael Irvin not only just runs by one guy, he runs by 2 guys that are just standing there. So you would think if you get down there in the end zone, it's a passing down, which it was. Emmett Smith wasn't even in the game. You would say, let's watch Michael Irvin, and you'd have a couple guys on him rather than a couple guys waving at him.
You'd think so. Shannon Sharp lined up deep in the backfield. That's Greg Lewis. Over the left side for 3 yards perhaps, stopped by Casillas. Maddox departs. Moore comes in.
Yeah, I think everyone is going to say, was this a good idea or a bad idea? And I think you have to say, compared to what? Compared to playing John Elway? Of course it's a bad idea, but you don't have John Elway. Compared to just playing Tommy Maddox or just playing Sean Moore, it's an idea anyway.
This is Sean Moore. Lewis. He got 5 yards. James Washington, the safety man, made the stop. It's close to a first down, but not quite.
One thing that Dan Reeves likes about this system is that he can tell the quarterback. You can give him the play, but you can also give him a coaching point. The only thing that's bad about this, Pat, is the fans are starting to boo it every time Tommy Maddox comes in. They boo him now.
3rd and very short. Maddox is in now. The fake. Maddox throws complete to Jackson. First down, Denver. Isaac Hope, after a gain of 14, stopped Mark Jackson.
That was a good fake and a good bootleg. He's going to fake to the right, then he's going to roll out here, fake to the left, and roll out here to the right on the bootleg. Jackson started like he was going to run it up, and then he just came right back to the sideline.
First and 10, Denver. Jackson in motion. This is Moore back to throw it. Under pressure, and he's coming out of there. Across midfield into Dallas territory, stopped by Casillas. He ran for 9.
And that's the thing that Sean Moore does, is Tommy Maddox isn't a real good runner. Sean Moore is a pretty good runner. And he gets flushed out of there from the backside by Charles Haley. Haley gave him the rush, and that made him run. He found a lane in the middle, and he almost got a first down.
About a yard short, Maddox replaces Moore. Vance Johnson. Sharp on the move. The handoff is to Lewis. And Lewis on the draw play all the way to the Dallas 35, a gain of 14. James Washington again made the stop.
I'm sure Dan Reeves is saying, this is working pretty good. This is the way we should have started. Remember how they started? They went for the big one on first down and had that intercepted, but maybe they should have started running and having, a more conservative approach to the start of the game.
Now it's Moore. Some great years at the University of Virginia. This is Lewis. Around the corner. Out of bounds by Robert Jones. 5-yard gain, however. The other final scores around the NFL. The Eagles beat Minnesota. Pittsburgh over Seattle. The Jets surprised Buffalo. Green Bay, a lot of offensive power over Detroit. Cleveland beat Cincinnati. Indianapolis over New England on 2 field goals. 2nd and 5. Lewis has 5 carries for 30 yards. That's Lewis again. To about the 21. Again, the safety men have to make the stop. Horton and Washington.
As Greg Lewis has some moves of his own. He's starting today for Gaston Green. He's usually the short yardage guy. This is a lead draw. The fullback leads, gets a pretty good block right there on Robert Jones, the middle linebacker. You see right there, he's going to get a block on number 55, just enough to keep Jones out of there so that Greg Lewis can get by him.
First down, Denver. The Dallas 20. The handoff is for Reggie Rivers. To about the 18, a gain of 2. Stopped by Ken Norton.
Yeah, you look at there at their left tackle, Russell Freeman. He's a rookie free agent, and that's going to be an interesting battle there. As a guy's a rookie, it's always tough playing in this league as a rookie, and then you're playing against Charles Haley. But he's starting off, he's doing a pretty good job. I mean, he got him on that draw. He had him on a couple pass protections. Charles Haley was the guy, though, that flushed Sean Moore out that one time he had a run.
Rivers is the lone setback. Shannon Sharp, this is Maddox. Touchdown, Denver to Vance Johnson. A good throw by Maddox.
a classy move by Vance Johnson. He did that because they had booed Maddox just about 5 minutes ago. And he had the ball, and he wanted to point to Maddox and say, hey, give this guy a hand.
Maddox is the holder. Treadwell's extra point is good. And the Broncos with a very impressive drive. 14-7 Cowboys.
Let's watch this touchdown again, Pat, in the clicker. The Broncos got a little break here in that Vance Johnson was out of bounds before he went in. You see right here, his left foot is going to step out of bounds. See right there? He goes out of bounds, and the official was right there and missed it. So when they say, well, the official was right there on top of it, that doesn't mean he's right.
He was on top of it.
It was still a good throw by Tommy Maddox and a good move by Vance Johnson and another good move by Vance Johnson.
Holmes downs the kickoff in the end zone.
And this is the second good move by Vance Johnson. The first one was to get open, and I think this is a real classy one.
The crowd had been booing him before. Very impressive drive by Denver, John.
Yeah, you know, I think sometimes when things come too easy for you too soon, you tend to have a little letdown. I think that's what happened to the Cowboys defense. I think they got the turnover, they got 2 touchdowns, then I think they had a little letdown.
Aikman is 4 out of 5 as the Cowboys start from their own 20. They lead by a touchdown, 14-7. Denver showing blitz, they pick it up. Incomplete, intended for Irvin. covered by Braxton.
That time Tyrone Braxton was there. I think they learned their lesson that you better tighten up on Michael Irvin, that you can't give him room. In fact, you're a lot better if you rotate towards him and bump him. But if you're going to play a man, don't just play way off. You know, get up there and jump on him. I think that Michael Irvin, if they don't bump him on or around the line of scrimmage like they're in position to do now, it could be a big day for Irvin.
Irvin wide left this time. Aikman to Emmett Smith. Taken behind the line by Brooks. He has had an outstanding year for Denver.
And when you talk to Dan Reeves, he talks about his defensive players, and he says if there's anyone that should be a Pro Bowl player, it's Michael Brooks. You know, and whether he'll be in position to make it. I mean, he feels that right now he's playing as an inside linebacker as well as anyone in the American Football Conference.
That's a good play right there by Brooks.
And that was his third tackle so far.
3rd and 12. Harper and Martin come wide left. Aikman facing 3rd and long. Almost intercepted, intended for Irvin. Dimry with him. Right now for an NFL update, back to Greg Gumbel in New York. (14-7) Dallas leading at Mile High Stadium. 1:32 left in the first quarter. Saxon back to punt to Arthur Marshall.
You know, most punters love to punt here because of the mile-high altitude, but sometimes they try and hit it too hard, like that.
An end over end. It takes a pretty good bounce for the Cowboys and Saxon. As Denver tried to block the punt, they put the pressure on Mike.
I remember when I coached the Oakland Raiders, Ray Guy was one of the greatest punters who ever punted a ball, and he'd always look forward to coming here to Denver because of the altitude thing, and boy, you could really boom one, and he would overswing or overpower, and he never did have a big day here.
They always tell you when you get to a place like this, or when you feel like you're having a good day, just kick it normally. Just kick it like you would an extra point, or just punt it like you normally would. But you can't do that.
Now, they're always reminding you that this is Mile High Stadium.
The air is thin.
Yeah, the air is thin, where the ball will really carry. You can't wait to play golf there.
Maddox. Incomplete for Jackson. Second down for Sean Moore as he comes in with a play from the head coach Dan Reeves. Reeves has been under quite a bit of heat from the papers here in Denver. Been here 12 years. Now they're a little unhappy.
Well, the big thing is that Dan Reeves' contract is up this year, and he doesn't have a new one. He doesn't know if he's going to get a new one.
Moore's pass to Sharp is complete. Out to about the 40, taken down by Vincent Smith, gain of 7. Not a first down.
There's an interesting guy, Shannon Sharp, in that he's a tight end. You know, he was a wide receiver, and then they moved him to H-back, so they list him as a tight end. And the Broncos got all these telephone calls from these fantasy league players. You know, is Shannon Sharp a wide receiver or a tight end? Really, in truth, he's listed as a tight end, but he's one of those in-between guys. He's kind of half a wide receiver and half a tight end.
Got his brother playing for Green Bay who is not a tweener. He's a good one. Jeffcoat jumped offside. Maddox is coming out of there. Slides at the 40. Gant put him down, no gain, but Jim Jeffcoat jumped.
Those are one of those free play kind. He was looking out there for
Defense,
Vance Johnson.
Offside, 5 yards, first down.
He was looking out here on the right side for Vance Johnson. Vance Johnson was covered on an out pattern. That's the time that you hope you have someone going deep. You see 82 down here on the bottom of the picture. Now, he's going to run an out, but had he run an up, then at least Maddox could have just taken a shot and thrown it up there because it's a free play.
So it's 1st and 10 after the penalty. for the Broncos. 14 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Flea flicker. This is Moore. And the pass is caught by Vance Johnson. I don't know how, but it's complete. That's the end of the first quarter with the score. Dallas 14, Denver 7. What's this catch?
Yeah, it's a good catch by Vance Johnson. It looks like James Washington goes up and misjudges it. You see, and the ball goes right over his left hand, and you always talk about a receiver in concentration. That was it. But look at what Maddox had to deal with. He gets a flea flicker, and watch Russell Maryland. Boom! He had to throw that one going backwards, and that was Sean Moore throwing that one.
Now it's Maddox, the quarterback.
Hey, Sean Moore was pretty strong, though. You know, that's what Dan Reeves said. He was a strong guy because he took a tough hit by Russell Maryland.
Maddox inside. The Greg Lewis. Stopped by Leon Lett. A gain of 3.
I think when you think about these Cowboys and their #1 defense, this #1 defense may not have a player make the Pro Bowl. One of the guys who is going to be a future Pro Bowl player is Leon Lett.
They have so many, and they shuffle so much, that one player doesn't have a chance really to shine on every down. Maddox overthrows the intended receiver. Sean Moore, beg your pardon. Reggie Rivers, the intended receiver.
You know what they're doing? They're doing a smart thing. They're doubling Charles Haley. And if they're going to get any pressure, it's going to, or any big pressure or any quick pressure, it's probably going to come from Haley on that backside of both Tommy Maddox and Sean Moore. And looks like every time they always have 2 guys there to make sure that Haley doesn't get in there. Because Haley, if you one-on-one block him, can be one of the dominant players in this league.
Once he gets going, one-on-one is no match. Haley's going to beat you. Touchdown, Mark Jackson. Good throw again by Maddox.
I said earlier that he didn't look like he was ready for the NFL, but in this, after that, he sure does look like he's ready. He's standing in there. He's big. He's strong. And what a throw!
He's the holder on extra points, which they botched. So Dallas will lead now by 1. I don't believe there's a penalty marker, but there might be. Hold on a second. No penalty. 14-13, the Cowboys by a single point.
This game summary is sponsored by Budweiser. This game summary is sponsored by Budweiser.
Dallas leads 14-13, both their touchdowns as a result of turnovers. Maddox of Denver, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. And statistically, in terms of total yards, Denver dominates. Danuiso kicks off, and he has got a gun for a leg. I guess that's a bad way to say it, isn't it? He has a very strong leg.
I know it. Watch Tommy Maddox on this one, Pat. What's really impressive, he looks 1, he looks 2, and then boom, he throws it to his 3rd guy that was Mark Jackson. Now watch what they do to Mark Jackson. They're going to zone him and double him. The double guy right there, you see Washington, he runs by Washington. It's the same thing Michael Irvin did. They had a double on him, but he ran right by the double. That should never happen.
The Cowboys by 1, 14-13. Emmett Smith. Right at the line of scrimmage, the defense led by Mecklenburg. Maybe he got a yard.
Hey, Carl Mecklenburg has been a good player on this defense for a long time, and he plays everywhere. You know, he lines up as an inside linebacker, as an outside linebacker. On pass rushing downs, he'll line up as a defensive end. And he's one of those tough guys that has a motor that goes 100 miles an hour all the time.
And never runs down. 2nd and 9. Denver showing blitz. The Cowboys picked it up to Emmett Smith. 1st down and more. Fumble. Irvin fell on it. Dallas will keep it.
Hey, and Emmett Smith is going to help Michael Irvin up on that play because he really did help him. Watch this, they're going to come on a blitz. You see, they pick off the blitz, and then that gave Aikman time to throw the ball. And then he just comes off, and he couldn't find his deep guy, so that's not bad. To always have your outlet guy just right around the line of scrimmage, and it's really good when it's Emmett Smith. And Emmett Smith is really happy when he fumbles the ball, and his buddy Michael Irvin's right there.
1st and 10. Aikman to Harper. Right through his gloves.
Yeah, that's one of the things the Cowboys are very proud of. They've only lost 3 fumbles this year. And then on these 2 plays here, they're having a tough time with the handle.
Barry Foster, another big day for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
And I'll tell you, you can never count those Cleveland Browns out of the playoffs either.
Aikman to Smith. Looking for a place to break it. Tim Lucas and Michael Brooks converge to make the stop after a yard gain.
One thing about this Denver Bronco defense, they're always going to get a lot of guys around the ball. You know, so you're going to have to hit quickly and get through the line of scrimmage. There's Kenny Walker, the starting defensive end for the Denver Broncos, who's deaf. And it's interesting, he has a sign language guy on the sideline who tells him what the coaches are saying.
Novacek in motion as Aikman gets it to his tight end, who lunges across midfield and might have gotten the 1st down with that lunge. He did.
Yeah, if you look, here's Ernie Stautner, defensive line coach. See, he's talking. See, behind Ernie is the interpreter. You see the sign language guy. So he's giving the sign language to Kenny Walker. And then Kenny Walker is getting the instructions from Ernie Stautner. The guy that is back there with the signs, his name is Guy Smith, and he spends 45 hours a week with Kenny Walker. He's on all the meetings and practice and everything.
That's his only job. Ernie was saying yesterday, as long as I can remember just to look at him, he can read my lips. But I'm always turning away. Pass to Harper, complete from Aikman. Stopped by Demery. 6-yard gain. Well, they've gone from an atmosphere of relaxation on the Dallas bench to one of some looks of concern.
Yeah, and they're talking to Washington there, and they're talking about, that double. I mean, if you're going to double, even though it's a zone, you can't let that guy get inside you. If you have the inside, you can't let him get inside.
Charles Haley, little book work.
He's trying to look at the formations and see what formations he's getting single covered in. I know that, or single blocked in.
That won't be often. Darrell Johnson, the man in motion. This is Emmett Smith to about the 40. Stopped by Cregan and Brooks.
One of the good players, I think, is number 79, Eric Williams. And I'll tell you, when he hits, a guy wants to go inside, and when he gets on him, he can really collapse that side of the line of scrimmage. We talk about good young players on the Cowboys. I think Eric Williams is one of them. I think he's a guy that once he gets in the Pro Bowl, could be in it for 10 years.
Well, I agree. When he collapses on top of you after you collapse, you don't get up very fast either.
Oh, you get the first hit, then the collapse, then the ground, then him on top of you.
He goes about 320. Flag on the play. Pass was complete to Irvin. The Broncos, I believe, jumped offside. Dimry made the stop on Irvin. Let's see if they were pulled off.
Before the play, before the snap, number 71, full start, 5 yards. It's still third down.
Chouinard. I was talking to Jimmy Johnson before the game. He said, the people keep telling me this is football weather. This is Denver. He said, the heck with that. I like it warmer.
He hates cold weather. He says he's going to have everything on that he can to keep warm, except he's not going to put anything on his head. This is what we avoided here. That's what you were talking about, the way it was yesterday, Pat,
boy.
where it was snowing and 8 degrees and snowing sideways. And we went to the Broncos practice, but they didn't practice.
This is to Emmett Smith. Lilo Lang made the tackle. 2-yard pickup. And Dallas will have to punt it.
Yeah, this Bronco team got off to a little slow start, but once they got a touchdown, their whole team has been fired up. Offense, defense, and special teams.
Saxon back to punt. Arthur Marshall back deep for Denver. Trying to hang it up high. Take a funny bounce, a Dallas bounce.
That whole punt was funny. Saxon kind of fumbled the punt before he kicked it, and then it took a funny bounce.
14-13. Mile High Stadium in Denver. That's some of John Madden concern on the face of Jimmy Johnson. His team leads by 1. The Broncos will start from deep in their own end zone. Maddox, the quarterback. Casillas jumped. It was interesting, John, that both Maddox and Moore were talking yesterday to us about how they tried to emulate the sound of John Elway's voice.
Encroachment on the defense. 5 yards is still first down.
Yeah, that's a smart thing. You can't have 3 different quarterbacks all with a different voice and cadence. So they have to get in the same rhythm. So instead of Maddox having his rhythm and Moore having his rhythm, what they did is they took Elway's rhythm and they all copied his rhythm. So at least all the rest of the guys on the team are used to that same cadence rhythm.
1st and 5. Now 6 with a little bit of breathing room. Greg Lewis barrels out deep in his own territory. Flags everywhere. Face mask, I'm sure.
That face mask because it was at the end of the run. I'll tell you, we're used to Emmitt Smith exploding like that, but Greg Lewis really exploded off that left tackle on that play. I mean, he came flying through there. Charles Haley is still standing there and talking about where did he come and who's supposed to have that 5-hole.
5-yard face mask on the end of the run. First down.
I'll tell you, let's just watch as we see Lewis come here. He starts out to the right and then watch it cut back. See right there they cut Haley. That's what gives him the cut back lane. Then he jumps over right there and then does he explode and runs right by 2 there and then gets the face mask at the end. That was a heck of a run.
1st and 10 Denver at about the 30. Maddox pass complete to Vance Johnson. 4 yards, stopped by Brown.
I'm sure that the Broncos are happy to have a healthy Vance Johnson back, because when you have a Vance Johnson on one side and a Mark Jackson on the other side, you have 2 pretty good receivers. 2 good receivers that can get open, can catch the ball, and can score touchdowns for you.
Plus, they're very intelligent.
And you know the other thing that I like about them is they both have a lot of life. I mean, they've been around the league, they've been here, but they still have fun playing, and they got a lot of life in them.
2nd and 6. This is Moore back to throw incomplete. Bounced out of the hands of Reggie Rivers. Back to New York, to our studio for an update. (14-13) Dallas by a point here. Remember that botched up extra point. 3rd and 6.
And those things usually come back to haunt you.
This is Maddox. Incomplete, intended for Mark Jackson. One of the Cowboy players lunged just in front of him, Ray Horton.
And one thing about Maddox, you know, he can put the mustard on this thing. I mean, he can stand up there. He has a quick release, a very strong arm, and he zipped that thing in there.
That was Gant that crossed in front of him and blocked his view.
I think Gant crossed in front of him, blocked his view, but I don't think ever touched it, did he?
I don't think he did. Darren Parker, the new punter, and this is a good kick. Martin retreats, shakes one tackler, can't shake the second one. So Dallas will take over, leading by a point. 49-yard punt, 6-yard return. 14-13, Dallas leading, 6:50 left to play in the first half. The Cowboys broke on top. It looked like it was going to be a walk in the park. But suddenly, the park got crowded.
That's one of the things you always worry about when you get off to a real fast start, that you can get into cruise too quickly.
Aikman throws to Harper. Flags all over the place. Tyrone Braxton with Harper. Harper is shaken up just a bit. They had a collision, no question about it.
It was right here about the 45-yard line, right in front of us.
Interference. Number 34, first down.
That was number 34 is Tyrone Braxton. They're still checking Harper. It looks like his right shoulder. But they really did get tangled up here. You can look, it's the bottom of the picture here. Number 34 is Braxton. 80 coming off the line is Harper. And right there, in fact, I think Harper ran into Braxton. Braxton looked like he had pretty good position, and Harper ran into him and knocked him down. Then it looked like maybe he fell on that right shoulder.
Well, the Cowboys all year long haven't had any what you would call serious injuries where they've lost players, key players, for any length of time. And there's some luck involved there. Emmitt Smith hit behind the line of scrimmage by Walker and taken down finally by Cragen.
Yeah, Kenny Walker was the first guy in there, number 96. And again, that's what the Broncos are doing well. They're pursuing, they're getting to the ball, and in that case, they're getting penetration. Walker got penetration to the side that Emmitt Smith was trying to go to. Then you don't give him the cutback. You make him make a decision right then, and then what? You get a bunch of orange jerseys on him.
Kelvin Martin has taken Harper's place, and he is split wide to the left. Here's Aikman back to throw again. Outside to Darrell Johnson. 7-yard gain, stopped by Brooks.
You know, last night we were talking to Troy Aikman. He said that Darrell Johnston is probably the most underrated player on this Cowboy team, and for all the things he does, he said he's a smart player. He's a very good blocker. He's a good receiver.
Good hands.
He knows what everyone has to do, what he does, and on most of Emmitt Smith's big runs, this guy here is the guy that makes the block.
Doesn't carry the ball much. He said someday, Troy did, they call him the Moose. Someday we're going to give him the ball a lot, and the Moose is going to be on the loose.
We're going to turn the Moose loose. I don't think that we're going to see that day. As long as they have Michael Irvin and Emmitt Smith and those guys, I don't think they're going to turn the Moose loose.
I don't think so either. Timeout, Dallas. 14-13, Cowboys lead it by 1.
Hey, listen, if you guys are tired rushing, put a hand up, and let's get people in there rushing the quarterback. We got to rush the quarterback relentlessly. Relentlessly, and let's get after the and stop him. Let's go.
Well, what a job that guy's done. That'll be the feature next week. The Giants play at Phoenix on Saturday. Next Saturday. 3rd and 2. Irvin, that's Alfredo Roberts on the move. And Emmitt Smith. Not much. Brooks Walker. That's not enough for a first down.
You know, that's always been a trademark of this Denver Bronco defense. I always said, I remember years coaching against them, years watching them. They always played short yardage and goal line as well as anyone. You see how organized they are? I mean, everyone has a hole, everyone has a gap. There was no blocker on Michael Brooks. Watch 56. He just comes sliding right there. He's the free guy, and he's the guy that makes the play that doesn't allow the first down, and the Cowboys are going for it on 4th.
4th and about a foot. Emmitt Smith. About 6. 7 calling. More, far more than enough for a first.
Yeah, the Denver Bronco defense wasn't ready on that play. They were running off the field. I think they thought when they stopped them that they weren't going to go for it on 4th down, and you could see that the defense wasn't ready. Mecklenburg jumped in what we would call the 4-hole. Emmitt Smith ran in 1 hole out that we'd call the 6-hole. Watch Mecklenburg 77 make the jump, and boom, Emmitt Smith goes 1 hole out away from the jump.
He usually does that.
That's the smart guy does that. The dumb guy runs in the 4-hole.
Pass intended for Irvin, incomplete. Braxton, the cover man.
I think this is what caused it, Pat. You look at the Broncos, and they didn't have enough guys on the field. And you could see confusion here and guys moving around. And when they only have a foot to go, if you're not set and ready to hit something right now, they're going to get a first down on you.
Aikman is 9 out of 14. Harper, by the way, is back. He had that bruised shoulder. Looked as if it might be very serious, but apparently not.
Of course, that was a big play on this drive, that pass interception against Tyrone Braxton.
Aikman to throw it. Behind Johnston, incomplete. Aikman thought he was going to turn back to his left, and he turned to the right instead.
And the guy that was on him is a guy that I've watched in films and has been very impressive, Shane Gronett. He's a big rookie from Texas, and you know he's playing against the guys that he kind of followed when he was in high school, but he's a big, young, strong guy and a heck of a pass rusher, and he was the guy that made Aikman throw that ball when he didn't want to, in a way he didn't want to.
3rd and 10. Aikman with a lot of time. He was way over the line of scrimmage when he let it go.
Yeah, there's flags all over the place. Aikman was over the line of scrimmage, and Jay Novacek was out of bounds.
What else can go wrong?
You watch here, he's about 3 yards over the line of scrimmage when he throws that ball, and even had he not been, it wouldn't have counted.
Beyond the line of scrimmage, loss of down, 5 yards, 4th down.
Loss of down and 5 yards, so it's 4th down.
You see, he had the pressure from the outside. He had to step up. He could have thrown when he stepped up, but there was no one open. The protection was really pretty good, and the thing that made Aikman run there was a good coverage by the Broncos. Of course, he never looked at that stick out there when he ran.
No,
he just ran right by it.
He lost track.
Yeah, that's like you come up in your car and you see a red light, boom, you go right through the red light.
Elliott, 16 out of 26 for the year. Timeout Denver. Would be 53 yards if they do try the field goal, and I think they will. Yeah. 53 yards. Elliott's still on the field. He hit one from 53 yards Thanksgiving Day against the Giants. Didn't want to try it.
Yeah, he said Jimmy Johnson was up there and said, go kick it. And he said, but coach, it's 53 yards. He said, I know what it is. Go kick it. Power it through.
And he did.
Yeah. Well, you could do that to a rookie kicker. What Jimmy Johnson says before every game, he asks him what his maximums are. And that day he told him it was 50 and he told him 53. I bet here today he probably told him his maximum was 55.
Well, he said the air was heavy on Thanksgiving Day. Here it's there. And it's good. He's found the spot he likes. 53 yards out.
I think Jimmy Johnson has found a kicker that he likes. Anytime early in the season that you make a decision to go with a rookie kicker and you have a team that can, make the playoffs, be in the playoffs, maybe be in a championship game, maybe be in a Super Bowl game, that's a real tough decision to keep a rookie kicker.
This one didn't have a lot of room at the end.
Yeah, but remember the name of this stadium, Mile High Stadium. And you're always going to get that little extra.
That's 13 in a row for Elliott. That's a big horse.
Yeah, that's the Bronco. In fact, they have a horse here, too, that after every Bronco score, the horse runs around the field.
That's not it.
No, that's not the horse. That's some other kind of mascot. But there's a horse right there. He's in the barn. He's in the paddock there. In fact, he ran and went. No one told Tommy Maddox about it. And the rookie, he almost got run over by the horse after a score in one game.
The squib kick goes out of bounds. Don't think he meant to do that. There's John Daly.
Broncos are going to win this game. They're going to win this game.
He and Dan Reeves have gotten to be great buddies. He lives at Castle Pines, not too far from here. PGA champion 2 years ago.
Can you work this camera or what?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, the thing that Daly comes out and he can also kick field goals. And Dan Reeves had him out there one day and said, if Daly makes this field goal, practice is over. John Daly, tennis shoes, boom, he did up there, made the field goal, and the whole Denver team got to go in. So they love John Daly.
Left-footed soccer style, John Daly is.
Probably barefooted too, I would imagine.
Tennis shoes. Maddox got away from Dallas pressure early. Vincent Smith finally took him down. 2-yard pickup.
This thing is really working pretty well in this first half with Tommy Maddox playing again every first down or every new series. Then Sean Moore coming in on second down. Maddox has thrown 2 touchdowns. Moore got him a big play. Remember on that flea flicker, he stood in there when Russell Maryland hit him, and he hit a big pass on that one of those scoring drives.
2nd and 8. No chance.
That's the problem with that naked bootleg. If you don't block that end, or if you don't run by him or make a move on him. Watch now, number 92 at the top of the screen. You see they pull the tackle to try and influence Tolbert. Tolbert didn't go down the line with the tackle Lanier. He just goes right up the field. Sean Moore makes the fake, and boom, there's Tony Tolbert. They tried to influence Tolbert. He didn't buy any of that. They pulled number 76, Ken Lanier. They tried to get him to think it was that counter and come down the line. He said, no way.
It'll bring up 3rd and 15 as we get down to the 2 minutes remaining to play in the first half at Mile High Stadium in Denver. Dallas 17, Denver 13. 2 minutes left in this first half. Pat Summerall with John Madden. They alternate quarterbacks, and here's the book on them.
Well, you see Maddox is 4 for 8. He's thrown 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Moore is 2 for 5 for 47 yards. And this is how they played first down. Maddox has had 7 of the first downs because he starts every series. Moore 5, 3 and 6 on second down. Moore's had more second downs, and then there have been 5 third downs, and Maddox had them all. See the total offense. Maddox is 34 rushing, 48 passing. Moore is 39 rushing, the team rushing.
Pretty close. 3rd and 15, ball back at the 30.
Well, after a shaky start, they're both doing well.
This is Maddox by Haley. The second sack.
And it's just a matter of time because Charles Haley, number 94 down here at the bottom of the screen, one of the best pass rushers in the league. He's working against Russell Freeman. That time he just got Freeman going back. I think Freeman was waiting for a move, and Charles just gave him a little power. And that's what Haley was looking for. I mean, knowing Charles Haley, he's waiting for someone to single team him because he knows if there's a guy single teaming, he's going to win that battle.
Dallas has called a timeout. Lanier being assisted off the field. Dallas has 1 timeout remaining.
Ken Lanier has been a steady player on this Dallas Cowboy offense. You always think of all the big games that the Broncos have been in, and you always think of Ken Lanier. He's been there for 12 years as a right tackle for the Denver Broncos, played in all their big games, championships, playoffs, Super Bowl games, and he's been one steady influence in the Bronco offensive line.
Kelvin Martin back deep for the Cowboys. Darren Parker, the punt for Denver. They just signed him this week. That was a bad drop. Parker signals fair catch. The ball takes a great Denver bounce down to about the 25-yard line, where they down at 1st and 10. Cowboys at about their own 26. 49-yard punt that looked terrible at the beginning. Coming up on the NFL Today halftime report, Greg and Terry will have all the action, scores and highlights from what's going on around the league today. Plus, Dan Rather will have a special report from Somalia.
And I'm sure one of the games they're going to look at is that New York Jet-Buffalo Bill game. Jets, they're playing awfully well, and of course we want to wish our best and prayers to Dennis Byrd.
Everyone does. Aikman back to throw. For Harper, incomplete. Good coverage by Braxton. Dimry, I beg your pardon.
One thing that this Bronco defense has really done well is they've kept Emmitt Smith under control. And we talked to Troy Aikman last night, and the one thing that they wanted to do was get some consistency in their offense, and specifically some consistency in their running game. And in this first half, they haven't had it. I mean, Emmitt Smith has had some nice runs. He's only had 31 yards so far, but the Broncos have really kept him under control.
This is Aikman back to throw. Maybe. No. Greg Tragan. Dronette. That big number 99 you were talking about just a minute ago.
F99 is on the left, 71 Cragen is on the right. They have a stunt here in the left. Cragen is just pushing up the middle. Aikman puts the ball down, and the two of them are right on him.
3rd down and long. Cowboys lead 17-13. 17-13. Dallas over Denver. A minute 34 left to play in the first half. Dallas jumped out in front 14-0, and since then Denver has been equal to the task. Aikman draw play. Emmett Smith. He got 6 or 7 yards, not nearly enough for a first down. Kroll and Atwater made the stop.
And I think the Broncos want to take a timeout here, Pat, because they know they're going to get the ball. The only problem is they've already used 2, so this is their last timeout. So they would like to use it. They'll get another timeout here on change of possession. The clock will stop after the punt return, but they're going to get the ball, and then they're not going to have any timeouts. Now, one thing Dan Reeves did tell us yesterday, he said if he gets into a 2-minute drill, Tommy Maddox is going to run the 2-minute drill.
Which means, of course, that he won't be sending in the plays with Sean Moore, but will be signaling in to Maddox.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe, if he has an incomplete pass, he may still try and do it just to get a word in. There's Dan Reeves. The guy facing us is one of the all-time greats. That's Raymond Berry. In fact, on that Broncos sideline, there's 2 Hall of Famers, Raymond Berry, who's the quarterback coach, and Ernie Stautner, who's a defensive line coach.
Raymond Berry was something else. Saxon gets off a fine punt this time to Arthur Marshall, who retreats all the way to the 15. This cover team is down. And finally, Marshall is knocked out of bounds by Benson Smith. Here's Ernie Stautner.
One of the, when you talk about the all-time greats in the NFL, of course, Ernie Stautner's in the Hall of Fame, but talk about old-timers and guys that played against Ernie Stautner, they'll always say he was the toughest guy they ever played against.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, there's a story of someone who didn't want to go to a Pro Bowl because he had to play against Ernie Stautner.
Play against Ernie again, that's right. He would hurt you just touching you. Just shake hands and you'd come away injured.
Well, Ernie's 67 years old, and he still looks like he could go.
Maddox. Haley almost was there. Pass was complete to Rivers for a gain of 5. Maddox stays. Flag on the play. The pass is complete into Dallas territory. Now they say incomplete, but a flag on the play.
Yeah, there's a flag back in that area where they usually call offensive holding, right in the area where those offensive linemen and defensive linemen kind of grunt and groan to get an advantage. Now with that penalty, now Dan Reeves is able to shuttle his quarterback, so Sean Moore is going in on this down. Because, of course, a penalty will stop the clock. That'll be like a timeout.
Illegal use of hands. Number 67 to the face mask on the offense. 10 yards. Repeat, second down.
Both Moore and Maddox, the 2 quarterbacks that Reeves is alternating, are big guys. Maddox not so big, but he's about 6'5". Moore is just a big guy, 6'4", 220.
Yeah, Moore is the stronger of the 2 physically, and can probably run better and do those kinds of things. Maddox has the better arm.
Out of the shotgun, Sean Moore. Will sprint out. Pass complete. Arthur Marshall made the reception.
Yeah, they did a smart thing back there. They double-teamed Haley. And then they rolled out outside of Haley, outside of the double team. What they do is they're going to lock him in the line of scrimmage. Watch 94 down here on the bottom of the screen. See, boom, they get their double team, and that also locks him in. And then Sean Moore can get to the outside, set up, have a clear lane to throw. Like I tell you, the guy who locked him in was Greg Lewis, the running back, and he did a pretty good job of blocking and locking on Haley.
Chuck Johnson replaced Lanier. Here comes Haley. Maddox stepped up in the pocket, threw it, intended for Reggie Rivers.
Hey,
Haley was almost there.
I know it. Jeff Davidson did it. Haley's going to go right by Russell Freeman, then watch the left guard, Jeff Davidson. He's going to peel back right there and knock Haley off just before he got Tommy Maddox. Well, you talk about a guy peeling a guy off of your quarterback. Old Jeff Davidson sure did it that time for Maddox. One time he was the left tackle, Davidson was, and they moved him to left guard. The big old 300-pound guy. Moved pretty well.
2nd and 10. Lanier now back in the lineup. This is Moore. Sacked by Russell Maryland. Ball was loose momentarily. Denver got it back.
I tell you, Russell Maryland come in there to do some damage. Watch, it's a 3-man line. Russell Maryland is right in the middle. He's right in the middle, and he's going to give the pressure straight up the middle.
Moore now the quarterback. With some time, and he's going to take off. And gets out of bounds at about the Cowboy 47. A scramble or run of 9.
Russell Maryland sure put pressure on Sean Moore on that time. He looked like he was going to do some damage. You look at the pressure, both of them. Maddox been sacked once, Moore twice. Maddox has hurried 3 times, Moore twice. Neither one of them been knocked down, no batted balls, and of course there was 2 interceptions, both of them thrown by Tommy Maddox.
4th down. 8 seconds left. This is Maddox. He'll throw it as high and as far as he can. And picked off by the Cowboys.
You know, it's an interesting thing, Pat. Yeah, that's Alvin Harper.
Yeah.
They put him their wide receiver. They put him in as defense. He was right on the goal line, and he got the interception.
That's the end of the first half with the score: Dallas 17, Denver 13. Mile High Stadium in Denver. Dallas leading Denver 17-13. We're about set to begin the second half of play. Turned out to be a much more pleasant day than we thought. WESO set to kick off. John Elway, not sure when he'll be set to do anything.
You know, in talking to him yesterday, he said the shoulder still doesn't have any strength. And he says if he doesn't have any strength in his arm, he's not John Elway. And he can't play until he gets that strength back and he can throw it the way he normally does. He's not sure about next week. He kind of thinks maybe in 2 weeks. Some people say he may not play the rest of the season. I didn't get that feeling in talking with John Elway yesterday that he thought that he wasn't going to play again this year.
Not at all. He just doesn't have, as you say, the strength. In fact, he said he'd be straining to throw it 40 yards. And for John Elway, that's not much.
John Elway, if someone's at 40 yards, could throw it through him.
Yeah.
When that shoulder and arm is healthy. Because you talk about a one-man gang, that guy is it.
Well, they've been saying Elway or no way here in Denver, but he has really had some impact on this franchise.
Yeah, I think if you look at those halftime stats, the big thing there is the turnovers. The Broncos have had 3 turnovers, and of course the Cowboys have had 14 points off of those turnovers.
And they lead 17-13. Harper moves in motion left, and Aikman gives to Emmitt Smith. Out to about the 26. Kenny Walker tripped him up, a gain of 6.
Yeah, the Cowboys started off real strong. They got those turnovers, and boom, 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 they went right in. They got 14 points. Then they kind of slowed down after that. You can see where Troy Aikman threw the ball 4 for 10 to his wide receivers. Of course, 2 of those were big plays. They were touchdown passes to Michael Irvin.
Their only 2 touchdowns of the day. 2nd and 4. Harper again in motion. Emmitt Smith again. Flag play as Smith got enough for the first down, but the flag was thrown back where it looks like it might be holding.
Yeah, that's in that same area that the Broncos had just before halftime. That's in the area of offensive holding.
Number 96 of the defense, illegal use of hands to
Whoa.
the face. 5 yards from the end of the run. First down.
That's Kenny Walker.
If you look at it, Kenny Walker is right here, and we'll look and see that he jumps offside. I mean that he gets knocked off the ball pretty good, and then right as he comes in at the end of the play, I don't see what he did.
Tuine just knocked him off the ball, as you said.
I don't know what they call.
He was just trying to get away. First and 10, Cowboys. They got 5 more yards after the end of Emmitt Smith's run. Emmitt again slips down. Walker made sure he stayed down. Stopped back of the line of scrimmage. A loss of 3.
Yeah, that was funny on that play before, what they called on Walker. Because he just got blocked by Tuine. This time he takes an inside move, and Emmitt Smith just fell down as he was making a cut. One thing about this field here at Mile High Stadium, this is a good field, and you usually have pretty good footing in this field, no matter what the weather may be.
Emmitt said to us last night he brought 3 different pair of shoes, different kinds of cleats on all 3. Aikman to Smith. Mike Kroll made the stop.
I just saw the owner of the Dallas Cowboys at halftime outside there, Jerry Jones, and he said, "This is what I told you last night." He said, "These can be the tough ones for you." And they are. You know, you can go and you can get your team up. When you play the Washington Redskins, the Philadelphia Eagles, all those natural rivals, but it's tough to get them up for an AFC team that doesn't have their quarterback playing. It's very difficult.
3rd and 8. Stands starting to rock a little bit now as they encourage the defense. Aikman back to throw it. Swings it out to Emmitt Smith. Not enough for the first down to about the 45. The pursuit caught him, led by Brooks.
It was a good job by Lilo Lang, number 21, of making Emmitt Smith cut back to the inside. And then, as you say, as he cut back, then he cut right into Michael Brooks. You see Lang right there. He's the guy that made him cut right back into that. Part of it was Brooks. Part of it was his own guy, Jay Novacek.
Saxon back to punt. Arthur Marshall will field it for Denver. Flag on the play. The flag right in front of the Denver bench. They were double teaming Gant.
And it's probably going to be against those guys. Gant is one of the top special teams guys, top cover guys for the Broncos. I mean, for the Cowboys.
Run back holding, number 21, 10 yards. It'll be first down.
The Broncos have to be very aware of Gant.
Called against Lilo Lang. Score remains the same. 1st and 10, Denver. Back at their own 17-yard line. Got to keep those nachos warm.
Yeah, look at John Elway. He's there keeping his feet warm. He's sticking his feet in the thing. That's an experienced guy. I don't know about those shoes.
No.
Wear some bigger old boots or something, it would work. You need like a heavy block.
Fumble and a scramble. Haley says we got it. And the officials agree. Vincent Smith came up with the ball. An error on the exchange. That's Denver's 4th turnover.
You can see the ball looked like it got up there, and Tommy Maddox went to pull out and didn't bring the ball with him. Sometimes the ball doesn't get up, but that one looked like it got all the way up to his hand.
Almost like his hands were in the wrong place.
And then you see the thing that has really hurt this Bronco team more than anything are those 4 turnovers.
Dallas 1st and 10 at the Denver 20. Troy Aikman, the quarterback. Cowboys leading by 4 points, and Aikman quickly to Irvin. Stopped by Braxton, but a gain of 8.
The thing here, most teams in the last few weeks have been rotating up and bumping Michael Irvin right on the line of scrimmage so that he couldn't run that pattern. The deep end is his favorite pattern. That 1, 2, 3 drop, quick slant is the next favorite pattern. The last 3 or 4 weeks they hadn't been letting him run that pattern. The Broncos are giving it to him today.
Irvin, wide right again. This is Emmitt Smith. Not much, if any.
Mike Kroll had that thing read all the way, didn't he? He zeroed in on Emmitt Smith all the way.
He had such an outstanding year last year. Dan Reeves said yesterday he thought he had some sophomore-itis.
He takes an inside slant, goes into that tackle, plays off him, and he had Emmitt Smith zeroed in and took him right to the ground.
3rd and 2. The Bronco 12. Dallas leading 17-13. Novacek, the move man. Aikman to throw it. Outside Novacek. Out of bounds at about the 4. Braxton and Brooks knocked him out of bounds.
And that's the thing that Aikman does so well is we saw him throw it to Irvin and get rid of it quickly. We see now 1, 2, 3, boom, and then it's Jay Novacek. I think if he has learned anything, or if Norv Turner, the offensive coordinator, has helped Aikman in any way, it's to get rid of the ball quickly and to make quicker reads.
1st and goal from the 3.
I bet Emmitt Smith gets it here a couple of times.
I think you'd be. He didn't get in that time. Stopped by Brooks at about the 1. About the 1.5, make it.
And this is one that he's not ready to cut back. He's just going to take that ball on the right side. Johnston leads again, and he's just going to dive and try and get as much yardage as he can. That wasn't one that was going to be a cutback or anything. That was just going to be a straight ahead, get there as quickly as you can, and then jump and dive and fight for any yardage you can.
Ball just outside the 1. 2nd down. Kenny Walker was the first Bronco defender to hit it.
Of course, Emmitt Smith is going for a Dallas Cowboy touchdown record. He has 15 this year. The record is 16, held by Dan Reeves. Dan Reeves says, if he gets it and he looks like he's going to make a touchdown, I may go out and tackle him or trip him. But of course, down on the goal line, you can't get out there from there. In fact, Dan Reeves made those 16 touchdowns his 2nd year as a Cowboy.
A lot of his were receiving as well as running. Most of Emmitt's on the ground. Another try? No. Aikman kept it. Touchdown, Nova Novacek. From a yard out, Aikman's third of the day. 2 to Irvin, this one to Jay Novacek.
And I'll tell you, Aikman was looking for Alfredo Roberts. They ran the play pass. The guy they were trying to break free was number 87, Roberts, and he had to come off of Roberts and go to Novacek. You see a good play fake there. They expected Emmitt Smith. Emmitt Smith makes a good block. You see he's looking here. Look at Alfredo Roberts, 87 down here. He couldn't get the ball to him. He was covered. But in behind Alfredo Roberts comes Jay Novacek.
Extra point is good, and Dallas now leads it 24-13. 8:22 left in the third.
You want to see what a 320-pound receiver looks like? Watch number 66, Kevin Gogan here. He's eligible because he's a tight end and he's open. Throw me the ball, throw me the ball. And then he's going to uncover. Look, he's wide open there in the end zone. Aikman didn't see him. Heck, he didn't even look for him.
It's sort of difficult for him to get open anywhere.
Yeah, but watch him uncover. Watch, here he is, 66. I'm open. I got it. I'm uncovering. I got a step on my guy.
You start to pull away.
Yeah, the guy was Dennis Smith.
He was bringing it home.
Yeah, he was so proud of himself. Look at big old Kevin Gogan. He's over there. He got that head and he's saying, I don't know what else I have to do.
I was open.
I was wide open. I gave him my best moves. What more do you want from me? What's a guy have to do to catch a ball in this league?
There's a flag on the kickoff.
And look at Aikman, looks bored. He's not even listening. He's telling him how open he is. Aikman hears that from everyone. He doesn't expect it from some big old backup tackle. In fact, Kevin Gogan's from my hometown, too, in Daly City, California. His dad and my dad worked for the same place, Les Vogel Chevrolet. Big old Kevin Gogan. I think he had those gloves on when he was trying to get open.
No, he had a hand up.
Did he had a bare hand up?
Naked hand.
He was lumbering, though. He was really going. Probably runs a 4.6.
Montgomery. I don't think so. Again, let's send you back to our studios in New York for an NFL update. Craig Gumbel. Pat Summerall here with John Madden at Mile High Stadium. Dallas 24. Denver 13. First and 10 Denver. Reggie Rivers over the right side. Got 5 yards. Stopped by Norton. Dan Reeves continues to alternate his quarterbacks.
Yeah, I think the idea was really a pretty good idea. And again, we talked about it in the first half that you don't have John Elway. You got 2 rookie quarterbacks. And by alternating, you can tell them to play on the sideline, and then along with the play, give them the coaching point.
Tell them what to look for, what to expect if this is there, and that won't be there, or vice versa. Haley chases more screen pass to Greg Lewis. Close to midfield. Vincent Smith tripped him up.
The thing that I've been impressed with both Sean Moore and Maddox is that they've both been kind of cool in this thing. I mean, neither one of them, Maddox had a little slow start with the interceptions, but Sean Moore really hangs in there on the screen pass. He waits, boom, he gets it out there just when he has to. Maddox has been pretty calm in there after he got settled down, throwing a couple of touchdown passes, and for rookie quarterbacks under fire, they're really doing pretty well.
This is Maddox under the center here, back to throw it. Pass complete to Shannon Sharp. Out of bounds after a pickup of 4. See again how those 2 quarterbacks compare.
Maddox is 6 for 12. Moore is 4 for 7. Again, Maddox has the 2 touchdowns. That's the good news, but he's also thrown the 3 interceptions. And then he had the other turnover too. I mean, the Broncos have had 4 turnovers, 3 interceptions, and then he fumbled that snap.
This is Moore. That's Shannon Sharp in motion. Greg Lewis behind the line. Stop this time. Russell Maryland first there. He is really starting to play well.
Russell Maryland is. He's right there in front of us in the left-handed stance, number 67. He had a broken toe, dislocated toe earlier in the season. He couldn't push off, but for about the last 3 or 4 weeks, that toe has gotten better, and Russell Maryland looks like the player the Cowboys thought he was going to be when they drafted him number 1.
And was at the end of last year. That was a good play. To Rivers, first down Denver. Norton made the stop, a gain of 10.
Good blocking by Russell Freeman, the left tackle. He has Charles Haley man-to-man. Watch him here, number 68, Freeman. He gets on him, he gets his hands in there. Now you take him and you just run him right by, and that gave Maddox a little time to step up.
That's some story, Russell Freeman. As you can see, Maddox patting the offensive lineman on the head.
Well, the inside guys, because they were the guys that kept their guys on the line of scrimmage so he could step up.
Moore, now the quarterback, Sharp in motion. Cowboys showed blitz. Jeff Coat wrapped up Moore, a flag on the play.
I think that has to be a penalty for throwing the ball away because the closest guy was an offensive tackle. I think they have to call it illegal grounding. And Jim Jeffcoat got there, and it was either take a sack. Now the other thing is the referee could have blown the whistle, and it could have been that he blew the whistle and blew him down.
We have illegal touching. The ball hit an ineligible receiver. The penalty is loss of down. Second down.
That's not a bad one. Of all the 3 things that it could be, Jeffcoat is coming down here from this side, number 77. He's the guy that flushes him out right there. And see, he's just going down. He throws the ball away, and in throwing the ball away, there is no eligible receiver there. See, he's just avoiding a sack. I tell you, that's not a bad play there because it's just loss of down.
So it's 2nd and 10. Ball's at the Dallas 36. Cowboys leading 24-13. Shovel pass to Shannon Sharp. Russell Maryland and Dixon Edwards made the stop.
Maddox has quick hands. You know, we were watching him on film. and the shotgun and stuff. In high school, he was a great basketball player.
Averaged like 36 points a game.
Right, and the way he handles and catches the ball, he looks like a basketball player. I mean, he looks like he has handled a ball a lot in his life.
Played basketball at Hurst, Texas, just between Dallas and Fort Worth. Sharp. Moore. 4-yard pickup.
That's not a bad play. They came with the shuffle pass, and then they come with a quarterback draw. It's going to be short of the first down. You see that this was an organized play. Almost got tackled there at the line of scrimmage. But Moore is a good runner, and he has good movement and good power. He broke that play at the line of scrimmage. The Broncos have their team in there. Now they're taking a timeout.
They have the field goal team in. Treadwell is number 9. 3:22 in the third left. John, Thanksgiving Day, you said you'd never seen a sunset. That's the moon.
Yep, and I'm going east because next week we're doing the Cowboys and the Redskins. I got to get back east. I'm just going to follow the moon. This is what happens when your body gets hot and you're playing on a cold day in the pits. That's Russell Maryland, who's made some big plays today. You know, the Cowboys were going to kick a field goal, then they took a timeout. Now they're going for it.
Denver. 4th and short, about a yard. Probably the reason they didn't, because of that missed extra point earlier. This is Maddox. Flag on the play. I'm not sure about that flag. That was late.
Yeah, but I think there was a whistle. They probably didn't get the snap off in time.
Before the snap was made, the 25-second clock ran out. Delay of game. 5 yards, 4th down.
And I'll tell you the ironic thing, as I said, the Broncos were going to kick a field goal at one time, then they took a timeout, then they were going for it on 4th down. Now they get the penalty, they're still going to go for it on 4th down. This time they put in their wide receivers, they'll probably get in a shotgun.
Well, it's 4th and about 6 now, looks like. 3 wide receivers left, 1 to the right. Maddox stayed in. Leaves in the shotgun. Pass complete. Vance Johnson stopped by Woodson, but the Broncos get that first down.
Hey, Vance Johnson has all the moves, doesn't he? He's a fun guy to watch. He had the 3 wide receivers on one side. And Vance Johnson knows where the first down marker is. He's the 3rd guy in. He just goes there, takes a little cutback, then goes in. Then he starts. When he started that second cutback, I think he saw the first down marker. Said, I better get down. I don't want to lose this first down.
1st and 10. Rivers, the deep back for the quarterback. Outside the Rivers. Tackle by Norton. Good tackle.
It's ironic we watched Tommy Maddox. He'll come in on this next play. The reason he went to UCLA from Texas was that he met Troy Aikman when Aikman was a quarterback at UCLA. They were playing in the Cotton Bowl. And he was the reason that Maddox went there to UCLA. Now, when Maddox was coming out after his sophomore year, he decided to come out. Troy Aikman called him and told him that he shouldn't do it. Tried to discourage him.
Maddox is the quarterback now, 2nd and 10. He's back to throw it. Chase out of the pocket. He does get rid of it and gets rid of it to Reggie Rivers. Rivers scores for Denver. Maddox, 3rd touchdown pass of the day.
What you get from a quarterback with good vision and a strong arm, and he can move a little. Maddox had that. You know, as you said, he's a big guy. I mean, he's a 6'4" guy, and even though you got rushers, you never look at the rushers. You always look downfield, and that's what Maddox did.
Treadwell for the extra point. Good. And the Cowboy lead's cut to 4, 24-20. 2:05 left, 3rd. Next Sunday, game 1 of our doubleheader, the 49ers take on the Vikings in Minnesota. Jerry Rice looks to break the NFL career record for touchdown receptions. He tied it last week against the Eagles. However, a tough test next week against Minnesota's tough defense. Big doubleheader starting with the Vikings and 49ers next Sunday here on CBS. Uso's kickoff again through the end zone.
Let's watch that touchdown again. Here's Reggie Rivers, number 38. Now, first of all, he's going to block Vincent Smith, number 57. You see him right there? Then he goes to the ground. Then when Maddox starts to scramble, he gets up off the block, and that's why he got lost in there, because he made a good block. And that will bring the horse out every time.
Briefly. 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. Dallas by 4 over Denver. Pat Summerall with John Madden at Mile High Stadium in Denver. Reggie Rivers just scored that touchdown for Denver. Jerry Rice, by the way, just broke the all-time NFL record with 101 touchdown receptions against Miami. Fake draw. Aikman cut down after a run of about 8. Let's again send you back to New York for an NFL update. Dallas leads Denver 24-20. 2nd and 2.
Hey, one thing, the Cowboys have let this crowd get in the game, or the Broncos have gotten the crowd into the game.
Aikman gives to Smith. Hit behind the line. Not a first down. Mike Kroll stopped him at Smith.
Kroll and Cragen was in there. You know, there's not a lot of nose tackles that get a lot of notoriety anymore. In fact, there aren't many of them. But one of the guys that has been playing well for this Bronco team, and he's not in there right now, is Greg Cragen.
Yep.
And as you know, in the rundowns and the nose tackle, and he's been very, very solid all day.
3rd and 2. 2 tight ends for Dallas. Aikman will throw it. First down to Michael Irvin.
You see that, though, how Troy Aikman, how quickly he gets rid of the ball? You see, he sees right now Irvin puts up his hand. He doesn't have to put up his hand because he's watching him all the way. But just watch his release here as he roll out there as the ball comes up. As soon as it gets up, it's out of there. And if it weren't out of there right then, it wouldn't have been a completion.
And that's the end of the third quarter with the score. The Cowboys 24, the Broncos 20. Our coverage will continue after this message from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. (24-20) at the end of 3 quarters. 1 more to go. First and 10. Dallas ball at their own 43. They lead by 4 points. Pass complete to Emmitt Smith. It is now 21 degrees down on the field, and it looks like it's starting to get slippery.
Well, what happens, I think, is as the sun goes down, then it becomes a lot colder. And you look, it doesn't affect this Bronco team. I mean, they're used to this. You know, some guys don't even, have long sleeves on or anything. They know where the heater is. John Elway has been hogging the heater today on him.
Well, that guy next to him on his right is Cliff Harris.
Yeah, the old Dallas Cowboys safety.
Emmitt Smith. Emmitt will have enough for a Dallas first down. 4-yard pickup. Kenny Walker shaken up on the last play. The Raiders beating Kansas City, and Phoenix over San Diego at the moment. Those of great concern to fans here in Denver to keep their playoff hopes alive.
Yeah, if Denver could get a win here. Of course, if they would have beaten Seattle the other night, then they wouldn't have to worry about it. That was Kenny Walker injured on that last play. Just say he's number 96. He's working here against Mark Tuinei, playing him off. Then he comes back in and makes the tackle. And when you're on the bottom of the pile, a lot of stuff's going to be falling on you.
First and 10, Cowboys. Novacek again on the move. Fake to Emmitt Smith. Aikman going deep. He's got Harper. Incomplete. Tyrone Braxton Harper had a couple of steps. The ball just didn't get there in time.
Yeah, that was one thing that the Cowboys want to do. I think they feel they've been getting a little conservative. They've been taking the short passes all the time in the run. And I think they wanted to get the ball downfield. It looked like Harper had a step on Braxton, and he could have caught that ball. It looked like to me that was as close to a good pass as it can be.
2nd and 10. Aikman at 7 out of 8 in the second half. That was his first incompletion. Pass complete this time to Harper. Braxton again the defender. Harper slow in getting up, but
Aikman just looks so comfortable back there now. You know what I mean? You just watch him and you remember when he came in as a rookie, you knew that this was a pro quarterback that was going to be a heck of a quarterback who could stay healthy. And then Jimmy Johnson and his staff and Norv Turner, the offensive coordinator, they have really developed, or Troy Aikman has developed himself into being a real top pro quarterback.
A tough guy too.
But the great ones make it look easy.
Smith to about the 28. Stopped by Mecklenburg, a gain of 5.
Emmitt Smith isn't having an easy day today, Pat. I mean,
No.
he is a marked man. I think anytime you play the Cowboys, everyone is going to try and stop number 22, but he is really a marked man today. I mean, those Broncos have been all over every part of Emmitt Smith.
23 carries for 58 yards. That's a tough day. That's a hard day.
Yeah, and you got to give credit to a good defense, a good tackling defense, a good pursuing defense.
2nd. Aikman back to throw it. Looking for someplace to throw and takes off with it. Aikman out of bounds at about the 17.
He showed a little speed there. The guy that made him get out of there was Greg Cragen, the nose tackle. Watch 71 right there in the middle of the picture. He's going to take Stepnoski and just push, and push him right into Aikman. You see, and then, again, it was good coverage by the Broncos downfield. That made Aikman run. And then when he got out there, he showed a little speed. But that was a good push by Cragen. The only thing is he didn't have any help from his outside guys. When you get a push in the middle like that, then you have to have your ends there and fill those gaps.
That's what you hope for in a 3-man line. You get a push up the middle, you should get to the quarterback.
It should be a sack.
Alfredo Roberts on the move. This is Emmitt Smith. And again, they swarm on Emmitt. Aikman, who said to us last night, when you ask him, what do you think you have to do when you have the ball? And he said, we got to get back to running the ball like we did at the beginning of the year.
And running it with consistency, and they haven't been able to do that. And again, their offensive line hasn't dominated today. Emmitt Smith hasn't really made any big run. And again, he's getting a little frustrated. But with a guy like Emmitt Smith, who I say right now, I think is the best running back in football, it's just a matter of time. I mean, you can stop him. But somewhere in every game, he has a couple of big plays in him.
2nd down and 9. Incomplete. No one close.
I think he was trying to throw it to Emmitt Smith, Pat, and Mike Kroll, the linebacker, was right on him. I think maybe Aikman read something, and Emmitt Smith was coming to the inside, and Mike Kroll is right there. See right in the middle of him? And Kroll is right on him, and he throws the ball to him. Kroll pushes him when the ball is in the air. That could have been pass interference. That's why it looked like no one was there, because Kroll pushed Emmitt Smith right by the ball.
3rd and 9.
He hates cold weather, I can tell. He says it, but that face says it too.
Aikman forced out of the pocket. Pass thrown complete to Kelvin Martin. Well short of the first down. And here comes the field goal unit on the field for the Cowboys.
You know, I don't know if that was complete. They're going to give it to him. It's a heck of a catch. He has it. And then I guess the ball can't cause a fumble, so that was a good call. They spotted it there. and they gave him the catch. But again, as you said, it's not enough for a first down.
The heck of a catch. Elliott from 32 yards this time. Behind the holder. That ends the streak. No good. The score remains 24-20.
This game summary is sponsored by Kodak Photo CD System. This game summary is sponsored by Kodak Photo CD System. This game summary is sponsored by Kodak Photo CD System.
Emmitt Smith has 100 total yards. That's rushing and receiving. Dallas has 230. Denver 258. 3 of Dallas' touchdown, 21 points, have come as a result of turnovers. Without that, Denver could be on the way to an upset. Maddox to Lewis.
You know, the other thing the Broncos have to remember is that missed extra point. It was scored 24-20. Had they made that extra point, it would be 24-21. And here was the extra point. Remember this one? Maddox is a holder. It looked like the ball was snapped a little behind him. He couldn't get it down. And anytime you ever miss an extra point or the extra point is blocked, it seems like that thing sits up there on you all day.
It's almost inevitable that it'll come back to haunt you.
It's like eating a dumpling or something. It just sits in your stomach.
Maybe that won't come back to haunt you, though.
It could.
Moore going deep. Larry Brown, the cover man, back there with him.
Mark Jackson is saying that he was interfered with. If you look at his shoulder pad on the right side, you wonder how his shoulder pad got knocked out of his jersey. We'll see if that's what he's arguing about. Here he's doing good. You see the left hand get up there. The left hand did stop him, and that was interference. He got his left hand up there, but that's a smart cornerback. And Larry Brown being able to get that thing and not be seen. Jackson still doesn't know his shoulder pad's hanging out of there.
That came out when he hit the ground. 3rd and 11. It's a Maddox. Outside to Arthur Morrison. Wide open. Tillman. Flag on the play. Penalty marker down back at the line of scrimmage. I don't think that was a backward pass. It's 2 forwards. Can't do that.
And that's what Maddox is arguing with the officials now. Right after the second pass was thrown, they threw a flag right at that point. And you're right. Again, you could throw a lateral and then a forward pass. The line of scrimmage is just in front of the 20. Look at that. Now, he throws the pass there. I think he did throw that forward. That was a forward pass.
And now they've changed their mind. Touchdown. to get more information on this.
You have to get to the point where he's throwing. Does that ball, I don't know, that's very close to a lateral. And it has to be a lateral because you can throw a lateral and then a forward pass, but you can't throw 2 forward passes. So there's no instant replay. They call it a touchdown. It's a touchdown anyway.
81 yards.
That's a lateral that's thrown back. That's the forward pass. 1 forward pass. What a hit he took.
Really. For the extra point, Treadwell. And it's good. Denver takes the lead. Denver has the lead by 3. Aduiso. Leighton Holmes on the return for Dallas, and he's hit down at about the 20. Falls forward 23.
Let's look at that play again, Pat. Here's Arthur Marshall. He's in the backfield. He's a wide receiver lined up in the backfield. Now he's going to come out here, and we're going to see that this is a lateral. We can go back and we can stop it when Maddox throws it, and we'll see when we stop it right now. He's on the 12-yard line. Here again is Marshall right there. Then we stop and we see the throw that he catches at about the 11. Thrown on the 12, caught on the 11, a lateral. You can't have a lateral and then a forward pass. So with or without instant replay, a very good call, a good play, and a legal play.
Here's Aikman. Pass caught by Johnson. Out of bounds about the 30. 6-yard pickup.
You know, I'm impressed with the job that Dan Reeves has done with this. You know, you lose your starting quarterback and you think maybe he's going to be back, then he can't come back, and you didn't keep a veteran quarterback as a backup to John Elway, and you go with 2 rookies, and he came up with a heck of a plan today.
This is Emmitt Smith. Out of bounds, no first down. Brooks knocked him out of bounds.
And Michael Brooks has been all over the place today. It seems like every time Emmitt Smith has run the ball today, Michael Brooks, number 56, has been in on the play. But I admire Dan Reeves for the coaching job that he has done here all the time that he has been in Denver. He hasn't won those Super Bowls he's gotten there, but I don't think he ever had the best team.
And this team, the Broncos, is tough to beat here. Aikman to throw it on third down. Big third down. Pass complete to Novacek. Novacek at the 40. 11-yard pickup. Frank Robinson made the tackle.
Everyone has their favorite receiver. I think if Troy Aikman wants a big play, his favorite receiver is Michael Irvin. I think if Troy Aikman wants a first down, his favorite receiver is Jay Novacek. And again, if you don't clamp on Jay Novacek and play him man-to-man and play him tight and bump in, he can kill you. You can't let him. He can run through and find open holes in any zone.
1st and 10. Aikman will try to throw it again. He gets to Novacek again. Another first down as Novacek bangs inside the Denver 40. Mile High Stadium in Denver. The Broncos lead the Cowboys 27-24. 6:40 left to play. Dallas 1st and 10 at the Denver 39. Pat Summerall with John Madden. Aikman. Novacek again to the 21.
I'll tell you, this is going to be a Troy Aikman, Jay Novacek drive. They started back here. They went down. The Broncos had that big play. Troy Aikman again, good pass protection. Nate Newton picks off his guy, almost gets run over. He finds Jay Novacek for the 3rd time. Carl Mecklenburg was there. He was on him. He was close. But Jay Novacek just got a step and separated from Carl Mecklenburg.
Novacek, 7 passes caught, 88 yards gained.
It's a lot tougher game than Jimmy Johnson ever expected, I'll guarantee you that.
On first down, Aikman back to throw it again. From behind. Lost the ball, but fell on it himself. Simon Fletcher got the arm on him and brought it down. A loss of 4 yards.
Simon Fletcher's going to come from this right side here, number 73. He's going to get right past Nate Newton there, and he grabs, first he gets a helmet with his right hand, then he gets the ball with his left hand and knocks it out of there. This guy's a good pass rusher, this Simon Fletcher. Watch the hand up there, and the ball, the hand comes down and strips it, then the left hand knocked it out again, and Troy Aikman out-hustled him for it. Simon Fletcher, he's a linebacker and a defensive lineman, and he's a leading sacker on this Bronco team.
Ball at the 25, 2nd down. They need 14. Aikman. Intended for Novacek, hit by Frank Robinson, incomplete.
I think they probably figured that they better get a defensive back. They put in Frank Robinson as a defensive back. They decided that we don't want Novacek working against linebackers anymore. We don't want him working against that zone because Aikman has just been playing catch on this drive. And as you see, Novacek on this drive has 50 yards.
3rd and 14. Ball at the Denver 25. Denver leading by 3. Aikman. First down, Irvin. At about the 11.
This is going to be a close one. Again, I think the first down is right there at the 11.
You're right.
He went to Jay Novacek for the short ones. He needed a big one. He went to Michael Irvin.
That's going to be close.
It's going to be like last week, the Philadelphia 49er game. They had that spot, and it wasn't a first down. Of course, that was a 4th down play for the 49ers.
That is a first down. You know, last week in that game you're talking about, Steve Young said later in the week that he went up and moved the ball.
Well, he went up after they said it was a first down. Steve Young went up and picked up the ball and got it out of there so they couldn't reconsider or measure that ball again.
First down, Dallas at the 11. 4:25 left to play. Denver leading by 3 points.
This is football. 21 degrees, Mile High Stadium. 27-24.
Aikman to Johnston, who is belted by Dennis Smith. Steve Atwater has not been playing.
You know, you talk about the Bronco defense, and you always think of their two safeties, and you think of Dennis Smith. This guy is a hitter, and he's been a hitter in this league for 12 years. I think that, you know, over those 12 years, I think Dennis Smith and Ronnie Lott have been the two toughest hitting safeties in the game.
Mentioned that Atwater has not been playing. He had an injury earlier. And he was talking yesterday about what Smith had taught him. Here's Aikman back to throw. Emmitt Smith hit at about the 3 by Dennis Smith.
And the other guy that was there was Michael Brooks. It seems like Michael Brooks is just everywhere that Emmitt Smith goes today. Aikman is looking, he's looking at Emmitt Smith all the way, but watch the conversion here. There's Dennis Smith, and boom, 56 is right there, and he's been there all day.
They can make a first down without scoring.
Hey, if they don't make a first down, it's going to be an interesting decision for Jimmy Johnson. Does he go to get the tie here, or does he go for the first down? I've always believed, of course he's going for the first down on 3rd. I always believe you get the tie first.
It's a Dallas timeout with 2:50 left. Denver 27, Dallas 24. 2:50 left to play. Dallas just took a timeout. Troy Aikman has gotten the information he needs from the sideline. They can make a first down at about the 1 without scoring. Third down at 2, Dallas trailing by 3 points. Aikman gives to Emmitt Smith, touchdown. That ties the Cowboy record, which is ironically held until now, by Dan Reeves by himself.
Tell you, Emmitt Smith and his teammates are awfully happy because he tied the record, but they're more happy because that touchdown put him ahead.
For the extra point now, which is good.
Heck, there goes the ball. Emmitt Smith said he's going to keep that ball, and on this one, the one that ties the record, he's going to ask after the game, he's going to ask Dan Reeves to sign it. He's going to sign it himself. So he's going to ask his name and Dan Reeves' name on it. He said the next one, when he breaks the record, he's keeping that one for himself.
Dallas 31, the Broncos 27. And now again, John, that missed extra point earlier by Denver looms over their head again.
Yeah, that's the thing. You miss an extra point in a game, and like we said, it just sits here all day. This is the ball that he's going to have Dan Reeves sign. Number 22, that's Emmitt Smith's name, with the date on there, and that's the tying football record.
Keep it warm.
And I'm sure Dan Reeves wants to see no part of that football right now. He's done everything that he could to win this football game. He's done an excellent job of coaching and preparing.
Bouncing kickoff. Fielded by Reggie Johnson. Down at the 35. You just have to start thinking about this guy when you get in a situation like this.
Yeah, there's no one better at the end of a game when you're behind than John Elway, especially when you're here at Mile High Stadium. But I'll tell you what, these two guys, they've been alternating, these two rookies, Maddox and Moore, and they've done a pretty good job.
I'll say 2:39 left to play.
You know, and I always wonder why you squib kick like that. I don't think Denver had anyone that was that dangerous that the Cowboys just couldn't kick the ball deep. Every time you try and do something like that, they always seem to get the ball back at the 35.
I don't think he meant to do it.
Oh, you think he just line drived it?
Just line drived it. River. Right at the line of scrimmage, Baby got a yard. Norton tripped him up. Redskins kept their playoff hopes alive. Raiders handling Kansas City. San Diego has gone ahead of Phoenix. San Francisco beat Miami. Flag on the play. Shannon Sharp knocked out of bounds.
And I think the penalty has to be against Shannon Sharp, Pat. He was moving. He didn't get set. He looked like he was going out for the pass before the ball was snapped.
Before the snap, number 84 was in motion, simulating the start of a snap. Play doesn't count. It's still second down after a 5-yard penalty.
Yeah, you can see Shannon Sharp. He's right here on the end of the line. You see him start. He starts forward, and then that was a penalty. He knew he was going to get that quick out, but you didn't have to go that quick on the quick out.
Dallas has run 66 plays to 46 by Denver. Second and 15. But Dallas just went ahead. They had led most of the game till Denver took it over. This is Moore back to throw. Mark Jackson. Not quite enough for that first down.
Yeah, Mark Jackson didn't seem to be real aware on that, although it was only second down. But, you know, he could have maybe gotten another yard there. They're keeping Moore in and going no huddle. Remember, it's third down and short.
Started out, came in for that purpose. To lunge ahead for the first down, and he got it. 2 minutes left to play at Mile High Stadium, Dallas by 4. Next Sunday, John and I will be at RFK Stadium for the second meeting between these Cowboys and their arch rivals, the Redskins. Game 1 in Texas Stadium was a harbinger of things to come for Washington as the Cowboys swarmed on Mark Ribbon. Troy Aikman and the Cowboys scoring through the air, on the ground, and on special teams. Next week they'll meet again, this time at RFK, where the defending champions will look for revenge. Cowboys and Redskins next Sunday on CBS. Right now the Cowboys have their hands full with the Denver Broncos. Maddox swarmed on. Haley and Tolbert.
That's why they traded for Charles Haley, and that's why they give him the big money. When you got a great player, great players have to make big plays when you need them.
Timeout, Denver. They have one more.
And they can keep Haley under control, and they've had him under control most of the game. But you're going to see him come from the top of the screen, Tolbert come from the bottom of the screen. You see, once Haley gets by you, he really puts the burst on. And once he can smell the back of that number and he can see the name in the jersey, he is really going to take that extra lunge.
Today's game was produced by Bob Stinner, directed by Sandy Grossman. The coordinating producer of the NFL Today is Eric Mann. The NFL Today was directed by Duke Struck, and the senior producer of the NFL on CBS is Ed Gorin.
You just saw Dan Reeves there make the call. He sent Sean Moore in with the play. Quarterbacks have wristbands with the plays on their wrist, but they don't need that because they're being told to play. You see the wristband there? They're being called. Each play is being called from the sidelines. Dan Reeves just tells them to play and sends them in.
Moore out of the shotgun. Pass is complete to Greg Lewis. Temperature on the field now has dropped a little bit more, down to 14 degrees.
And you know that one point that we talked about before where the Broncos missed an extra point, that thing sits there all day, and is it looming big now?
Moore. Incomplete. Rivers, the intended receiver, hit by Norton.
And it's probably just as well as it was incomplete, because it would have been a loss anyway. But you know, had they only had 3 points to tie, then they could just go to get in field goal position. Of course, now they have to go for the 7. And on 4th down, the whole thing might be academic anyway.
4th and 10. Dallas leading 31-27 over Denver. Maddox is the quarterback. Chased by Haley. The pass is picked off by Gant. And Dallas takes over.
And Charles Haley did his job. The Cowboys needed a pass rusher. They got a pass rusher. Charles Haley came in there at the end. He got him a sack when they needed it. 4th down, he got a rush. The man did his job. Gant's going to keep that ball. Saw the Cowboy owner, Jerry Jones, stand up. He said, "Whoop, we dodged a bullet in a close one here today." Here's the rush. Now watch Haley come out there. He's going to come 94 and make him throw it when he didn't want to. Of course, he threw it to Gant when he didn't want to, and the thing that killed the Broncos today, they played an excellent game, but they had 5 turnovers.
Timeout, Denver. A reminder that tonight on CBS, 60 Minutes, followed by Murder, She Wrote, and then the CBS Sunday movie, The Man Upstairs. Valiant effort today for Denver, and as you said and pointed out earlier, a particularly fine coaching job by Dan Reeves.
Yeah, because Dan Reeves and his team came in here with a half a deck. They were playing against the Cowboys, the #1 defense in the league. He had 2 rookie quarterbacks. And that plan that he's putting in his pocket right now was a heck of a plan. He almost pulled it off.
And everybody sort of laughed at it.
Well, and of course he knew going in that he was vulnerable. He didn't have his quarterback, John Elway, and if things didn't go well, he was going to be criticized for that. You know, why didn't you stay with one guy? And he had an idea that he could make a call. He remembered Tom Landry doing it when Tom Landry was his coach. Decided that's the way he was going to do it.
Here are the final numbers on those two, Sean Moore and Tommy Maddox.
You see again, Maddox had the 3 touchdowns, but he had the 4 interceptions. And of course, he had one other when they missed the snap, though 5 turnovers. And that's the thing that killed the Broncos today were the 5 turnovers. They played very well on defense, and they executed very well on offense other than the turnovers.
Those are big scores to the Broncos. The Raiders beating Kansas City, and now San Diego beating Phoenix in their playoff quest. This game presented by authority of the National Football League. This CBS telecast intended for the private use of our audience, and any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of CBS, the Denver Broncos, and the National Football League is prohibited. 31-27. Dallas wins, but with a struggle.